Is anybody out there hungry? I'm a little bit hungry, and what better to do when you're thinking about food than to dream about all of the restaurants that could be right here in Branson, Missouri. My name's John. This is TPF Travel, and this is where we show you how to have fun and exciting travel adventures. And let's talk about 10 restaurants that are not in Branson that I believe absolutely should be in Branson. Here's the situation. Restaurants, eating, dining, gorging yourself, going overboard as part of vacation. And I know when we travel, a huge part of the vacation is thinking about what we're going to eat, because we like to try out new restaurants. We love factoring in the cost of dining into the total cost of our vacation. It's a big part of it. You know, for example, when we go to a larger city, we get really excited about all the different options that we're going to be able to have to eat. Same thing when we go to Orlando. One of our favorite things when going to Orlando is all of the ridiculously amazing restaurants, especially those on the Disney World property. Oh my, wow. What are some of your favorite Disney World restaurants? I mean, I'm thinking of Boma, and oh man, that's an amazing restaurant. You've got to go there. But so many that are just incredible. Not to mention all the character dining. And so dining in Orlando takes it to a whole other level. And I'm wondering, is that possible right here in Branson? Can we go to another level? Is there another place that we could go regarding dining? Well, I think there's definitely a place to go, because I do hear quite often. In fact, I just heard it today from somebody that, yeah, there's some good restaurants in Branson. Most certainly there are, for sure. And Amy and I, we have our favorites, and there are places that we go to all the time. But sometimes we're a little disappointed at the selection. So let's talk about 10 restaurants plus one bonus that we would love to see come to Branson, Missouri, entertainment mecca, that can do much better with dining options. And I've got to say it again before any of you start commenting. Branson does have amazing restaurants. We've done videos on them. There's so many. Some of our favorites are our Center Stage Grill and Momo's and the Keeter Center and Sugar Leaf, and there's several. There really, really are. But is there opportunity to see the whole dining thing here in Branson just go to another level? There definitely is. So, all right, here's my top 10. Definitely you have things in mind. I would love for you to comment. What would you like to see come to Branson? Because your ideas are maybe even better than my ideas. I would love to hear what you have to say. So number 1 has to be on the list, P.F. Chang's. Whenever we're traveling and we see a P.F. Chang's, it takes a lot for us to resist. There might be 20 other amazing restaurant options, but we see that P.F. Chang's and we're like, I think we're going to have to do it. We'll drive out of our way. We'll drive miles to go to eat what we think is great Asian food and just love it. They have this big giant bowl of egg drop soup that you share with everybody at your table. Amy and I, we will split that between the two of us and get that before the meal. And then, I love the ambiance, the everything about P.F. Chang's is amazing. So that's number 1. Hey, number 2 is related. And if we can't go full on P.F. Chang's, how about Pei Wei? Pei Wei. It's fast service Asian dining that is excellent. I mean, in fact, depending on time, we were down in Bentonville, and we were a little rushed in terms of time. We were, I can't remember what we were doing. I think we might have been going to the airport, or I don't remember what it was, but we didn't have a lot of time. We decided, even though we didn't have a lot of time, that we were going to drive to P.F. Chang's because it's just worth it. Well, on the way to P.F. Chang's, we passed by Pei Wei. we saw it. I'm like, you know what? It's not quite the same as P.F. Chang's, but it's honestly not that far away in terms of quality. How about we just save a little time, cruise into Pei Wei, and eat there? And we did. And great food. Love that place. It's faster than P.F. Chang's, and definitely an excellent option. We do have some good Chinese restaurants here in Branson. I just had Chinese food today, and so there's some different options that we have, but I think Pei Wei would kind of be a really, really good additional option here in Branson. All right, number three. Are you getting hungry yet, by the way? Yeah, me too. Number 3, and I'm going to butcher how you say this, but I'm going to try. Fogo de Chão. And I thought it was Fogo de Chão, but it's a Brazilian steakhouse. And there's others. There's others out there that are really good, but this is one that we love. We ate at one in Kansas City recently, and just anytime that I see a Brazilian restaurant, especially a good one, I'm there. My wife and I go when we go to Nashville. There is one right downtown. I cannot remember the name of it, but we go there most of the time when we visit Nashville, and so good. If you have never been to a Brazilian steakhouse, you have no idea what you are missing. The salad / food bar, which, in my opinion, might not even be necessary because of all the meat that you're getting, the unlimited meat, but that actually probably is necessary. Why? Because at a good Brazilian restaurant, that food bar that you go to before the meat starts coming around, or even at the same time as the meat as it's coming around, so good. It's a whole other step up from, your typical salad bar kind of thing. Really, really good, fresh food and salads and cheeses and meats and things that you wouldn't get on most food bars like that. And then, of course, you've got the meat. You got some little meats on the food bar, but it's the meat that comes around, and you flip up. The different places do it differently. You raise the flag, or you flip the card from red to green, and whenever that green card is there, the green flag is up, they know to bring you meat. And these guys and gals are walking around with these skewers and platters of meat, and you've got tongs, and they come by, and would you like some of this filet? Yes, I would, please. Thank you very much. And they start slicing it, and I grab it with my tongs and put it on my plate, and they're gone. And this next person comes around, and one of our favorites actually is the pineapple, the grilled pineapple. Cut that pineapple off. Yes. And I think that's one of the only non-meat options, and it's super good. And lamb, and oh my goodness, just various types of chickens, and most of it seems to be red meat. And oh boy, it's so good. And then they'll have these banana type of appetizers and different types of, I don't know, cheesy type bread or something like that. And oh man, so we need in Branson, Missouri, a really good Brazilian restaurant. Now there's Brazilian restaurants that aren't so good. I guess that's true with any restaurant, any style of restaurant. And there's some out there that are not so good, and you leave kind of disappointed. You don't want those. You let's bring in the name brands, folks. And speaking of name brands, I understand that this whole list it's chains. And I know that there are a whole bunch of you out there, you love the mom and the pops or the local, restaurants. I do too. I really do. But it's kind of hard to, to talk about specific one-off restaurants in some other city that we would like to see them reproduce what they have there here in Branson, because none of you would know what I'm talking about unless you actually visited that city and that particular restaurant. And so these chains, we all know what they are. And so that's why I'm doing it this way. And by the way, I like certain chains, obviously, based on what you're picking up so far. All right. The next one, Mongolian BBQ. Hey, who doesn't love that? Whenever we go to Springfield, my kids are crying out, let's go to Who Hot. We want to go to Who Hot right there in the Battlefield Mall, and where you get your bowl and you put your eggs and your chicken and your shrimp and your noodles and whatever, vegetables, pork. You're loading up this bowl, and I used to do one bowl, and you're supposed to do just one, but now I do 2 bowls. So I get that, and then you go into the line where there is all of the sauces, and then you're pouring these sauces. I like the peanut sauces, the soy type sauces, the sweet sauces, things like that. You're pouring ladles of that on top of this concoction, and then you're waiting in line as you go around this big giant. I don't know, this. It's not a walk, but a place to cook. It's this big flat, and they take your bowl and they dump it out and they crack the egg open and then they mix it all up and they leave it there to cook, and they go around all these different people, all these different plates all around, and they're cooking and they're energetic, and it takes just a little time, and finally it's all done, and they scrape it off the table right onto your plate. And, I'll put some crushed peanuts on there and things like that. Go back to my table and eat. And you can go as many times as you want, typically. And so a Mongolian barbecue would be perfect here in Branson. A great, great option. Again, what do you think? As I'm going through all of these, leave some comments. Even if it's not a chain, maybe it's a specific style or a type of a restaurant that you would love to see here. Let us know, because who knows? Maybe somebody sees this video and they're like, wait a minute, Branson really wants this kind of a restaurant. I own one of these kinds of restaurants. I'm going to start one in Branson too. And who knows? Could happen, right? And all right, here we go. The next one, this will be number 5. Got to have this on the list. The Cheesecake Factory. It's a slam dunk. Slam dunk. And, when we're out traveling and we see a Cheesecake Factory, we know doesn't matter what we're craving. I know, typically it's like, what are you hungry for? Mexican? Nah. Chinese? Nah. Pizza? And so everyone has these different ideas. By and large, you can go to Cheesecake Factory and you can get pretty much anything that you want. They're going to have flatbread, pizzas type stuff. They'll have pad thai. I'm just thinking of different types of, of course, all of your typical American style meals or whatever. But the menu is like huge, massive, and you can be flipping through that thing forever trying to find what you want. And they've got great salads and appetizers, and I mean it's an experience. And of course, the cheesecake. And whenever I go to the Cheesecake Factory, I never get the cheesecake. I think one time. Because every now and then, I just give up in terms of watching the wait. You just give up. I give up. Especially when I'm traveling. I give up. It's over. It's never going to happen. I'm never going to be down to my high school graduation weight of 140. It's never going to happen. I give up. So what do? I get some cheesecake. When I go on a cruise, I give up. You better believe I give up. I just surrender. But honestly, whenever I go to Cheesecake Factory, I usually have enough willpower to say no to the cheesecake. Why? Because there's like 1.5 million calories in one piece of that ridiculously rich, huge, phenomenal cheesecake. And oh, it's so good. It is so good. It really is. And so a Cheesecake Factory would work great here in Branson. Now, before we continue on, we've done 5. I know, I get it. There are reasons why these big old, really expensive to build restaurants don't come to Branson, is because, and this is why, a lot of businesses don't come here, is because Branson is not really a year-round town. And really, you're only busy, like really busy, maybe 5 months, 6 months out of the year. It's not that there's nothing going on the rest of the time, but you're going to have summertime, you're going to have spring break, and you're going to have Christmas time. And, in really a lot of ways following the school year. And, when school is out, we're busy. When school's in, we're not. And that's Branson. And so you're looking at entire months of the year where you're not going to have anybody at all. In fact, there was a manager of one of the restaurants that's no longer there at Branson Landing, and he said in January and February, there would be times when they would be open all day and they would have their very first customer at like 5 o'clock because there's nobody in town. Walk around Branson Landing or, in the middle of January on a Tuesday and nobody there, right? And especially if it's cold and miserable. And so these months of the year that Branson is slow, those are huge losses that these businesses are taking. So, it makes sense. It makes sense why, these restaurants aren't coming. So that's, I get it. But you never know. There are restaurants here that are supported. So I don't know what their finances look like. I don't understand all of that, but I do understand that there are reasons why they're not coming. All right, back into this. One of my all-time favorite restaurants, the Melting Pot. The Melting Pot. Fondue. Gotta love fondue. You gotta do fondue, right? Fondue. If you've never done fondue, I want to cry as I think about you not eating fondue. It's so sad. It's terrible. Oh, the fondue. And see, you go in and you start with your cheese fondue, which might be my favorite. And just this pot full of melted, yummy cheese, and you're dipping in different types of breads and veggies, and They never bring enough. I always want like 2 or 3 times the amount that they bring. I guess I could order that. And then comes the main course. And so you've got your meats and shrimps and shrimp and different types of things like that. And you're cooking these things and different sauces. And by the way, here's a tip. For those of you that do the Melting Pot or similar, there's a place in Manitou Springs, Colorado called the Mona Lisa, which we used to live there and we would go there. But there are different types of fondue restaurants. The Melting Pot is probably the most popular. We tend to skip the main course because it's our least favorite of all the types of all the courses. You can even do a salad. You can add a salad to this thing too. But we typically, not always, but typically we'll skip the main course and just do the cheese and the dessert. Wow. Remember I talked to you a moment ago about willpower? There is none when I'm at a fondue restaurant. None. Not at all. Zero zippo. Why? Because you get to order this melted goodness of chocolate and peanut butter. You can choose your type. I like the melted chocolate peanut butter and wow. And then you get all of this tray of desserts. You've got brownies and marshmallows and Rice Krispie treats and strawberries and on and on. And you just take your skewer and you dip it in there and you got this chocolate. Are you with me? Are you feeling this? A fondue restaurant in Branson. Somebody please. You got to do it. Bring the Melting Pot to Branson. It would change my life. I think it would change your life too. All right, next. Here's just we need, so all of these I've been talking about so far are, kind of bigger ticket item restaurants. How about McAlisters Deli? Something similar to that. There's different types of delis out there. And I know we have Vaskin's right here in Branson. We love Vaskin's. We go there all the time. But I'm thinking another option and a McAlisters. And when we're wanting something light and fresh and healthy, kind of salady maybe, or a sandwich, soups, things like that, I think a McAlisters Deli would be awesome, and out of everything on the list, this might be one of my 2, kind of least excited options. If one was here, I tell you this, I would eat there all the time. Another option, a McAlisters Deli or maybe a Jason's Deli. Springfield had Jason's Deli and it closed. I'm not sure what happened there. We are thoroughly enjoyed Jason's Deli. In fact, now that it's not in Springfield, when we are traveling and we see one, we'll get really excited. It's like, we got to go. We got to go to Jason's Deli. But Jason's Deli or McAlisters Deli, something like that. And we would really appreciate that. We would go there often. And I think Branson would do well with a McAlisters Deli or something similar. All right, next, this would be number 7. And don't forget, there's a bonus at the end. Number 7, Benihana. Yeah. We were just in Salt Lake City. And we were walking around, and it was in the side of this old brick building, really kind of a strange location. Cool location, though. And a Benihana. And I have so many memories of eating at Benihana's back when I was a kid in Chicago, and my parents would take us right downtown Chicago. And I just have great memories of that. And boy, whether it's lunch or dinner or whatever, I so love Benihana's. I know we've got Shogun here, and we have some options, but something about Benihana's that is just I don't know. For me, I just am a huge fan. I'm a big fan. Benihana's, I think it would do wonderfully here for sure. And again, I want to say this. It would take a lot of doing, but I believe that just like Orlando or some different places, Branson could be a food destination. So people come here not just for Silver Dollar City and the shows and the attractions and all of that, but they're coming because of the unique, world-class, phenomenal food. A lot of that could include these chains, but also could include other one-off kind of, unique to Branson restaurants, and I did a search for, the top 10 or 25 or whatever restaurants in Orlando, and that's a point of reference for us just because we go there so much. And everyone that I looked at was not a chain, or I think, and they were all very unique. A lot of them Disney World restaurants and things like that. And so we could see some brand new, very unique restaurants come to Branson. There's a restaurant, and I've mentioned it before, and I can't remember the name, but when we go to Pigeon Forge, it's either Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg. I mean, I know they're right next door to each other. I can't remember which place it's at, though. There's a restaurant there. You're going up some stairs. I think there's like a water wheel. And anyway, and you need reservations. You go inside. You can walk up some stairs and sit upstairs. I think everyone sits upstairs. And that's ingrained in my brain and it's just old style home cooking. But boy, is it good. And there's always long lines there. And so Branson needs some restaurants like that give people these memories, even if they can't remember the name of it. It's like, oh, that restaurant in Branson, I've never eaten anywhere like that. It was incredible. So Branson needs some of that. Branson can be a food destination. Someone needs to get the vision. All right, back to restaurants that are well known. All right. Where'd we leave off? Okay, this next one. Remember I said McAlisters Deli was one of 2 that were kind of, I'm just mildly excited about. This next one would be something that would just be nice to have so we could cruise over there for a cheap meal that would be healthy. Something like Food Plantation or Sweet Tomatoes. And some people don't like those restaurants. I get that. Some people do. We do. In our family, we do. And these are just basically salad restaurants with soups and some bread and that kind of stuff. And so you're not getting your full course prime rib meals there. You're getting salad, you're getting soups, maybe a little bit of pasta, and it's all buffet style. And we would eat when we lived in Kansas City. There was I don't remember which one it was. I think Sweet Tomatoes, and I think Soup Plantation when we lived in San Diego, and we'd go to Soup Plantation out there, and we'd go all the time. So if we had one of those here in Branson, we're like, where do you want to go to get something quick and healthy to eat? It would be a slam dunk, obvious decision. Let's head over there to that salad restaurant. And I think it would be great to have one of those here in Branson, Missouri. All right, number 10, and then there's a bonus. Number 10, Now, this is for those of you who are Chicago fans. I'm a Chicago Cubs fan. You can't see it, but I've got a wall right over here just kind of dedicated to the Chicago Cubs, World Series champions. Got an old school Chicago map up on the wall. I grew up in Chicago. And the best of the best of the best Chicago-style pizza, Giordanos. And you're going to find that restaurant not only in Chicago, but it's in Orlando too, and it's in different places. Giordanos. And just the thought of them bringing out that massive, thick Chicago-style pizza with sauce on the top and cheese. I mean, that thick. And just cutting into that. And one slice is enough for 5 days. You don't ever have to eat, again until the next week. But you don't stop at one slice. You go as much as you can until you're not feeling real well. Wow. 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 Giordanos, Branson, Missouri. Somebody make it happen. And let's make a little kind of a shrine to the Chicago Cubs right there in the restaurant. I don't know if a shrine's a good word. We don't worship the Chicago Cubs. We just hold them in high regard. Right? Right? I'm here in Cardinals land. Go Cubs. All right. Remember I told you there was a bonus. Big bonus. And this is something I am crying out for. I live a weird life. I own 3 businesses here in town. I am a minister. I write a lot of articles for national publications all the time. I'm writing several articles a week, and so the whole 9 to 5 thing, that doesn't happen, for me and my wife. And so I spend a ton of my time at Starbucks. A ton. They know my drink. I don't even have to ask. They all know exactly what my drink is. And I spend a lot of time there. What I would love, and that's downtown, Branson desperately needs either another Starbucks or another great coffee shop. Thinking Caribou Coffee. But a big one where there's so many seats and outlets to plug in the laptop and leather chairs and couches and tables and just everywhere. Fit 50 or 60 people in there. 100 people. Biggest coffee shop in all of Missouri. Someone needs to build that. They need to build it in the middle of the strip somewhere, somewhere that is high traffic. And, I was going to say easy to get to. I understand the strip is not easy to navigate sometimes, but I'm thinking not downtown because we already have that. So something not far away off the beaten path, but somewhere, kind of where all the traffic is. And there you have it. That was my bonus. Coffee is a mega bonus. The ability to enjoy your coffee in a big, comfy place where you have room to breathe. Mega bonus. And so definitely we need more. Not only one. How about let's bring like 2 or 3 epic coffee shops to Branson, Missouri. All right. So here we are at the end of this video. Not yet. Because your part is now. We need comments. Let's get this thing going. What restaurants would you like to see here? Maybe there's some fast food. I know sometimes people, we don't have a Burger King. Maybe you want a Burger King. Some people mention KFC. I don't know, Popeyes. But what type of restaurant? Maybe it's not a chain. Maybe it's just a type of a restaurant. What would you like to see here in Branson? What would make Branson a food destination? People drive from Springfield easily just to come down here for an epic, incredible, phenomenal meal. What would that look like? People, of course, vacationing here. They're remembering all the fun stuff, but they are really remembering the epic, phenomenal food. Keeter Center. That's a great place to go and have some memories of great food, great service. What else? What else is out there? And I would love to hear about that from you right now. But I'm done. That's it. It's over. It's done. Gonna go do other things with the rest of my day. Well, I guess I have to edit this video. And then I'll go do other things with the rest of my day. But you're amazing. Appreciate you. And consider partnering with us on Patreon. Links are in the description. Definitely subscribe and turn on the notifications, ding the bell. And that would be phenomenal. Share this. Let people know about these videos dedicated to travel, dedicated to Branson, Missouri, to cruising, to our various adventures all over the land. And let people know about it. We would love to make some new friends. All right. We'll talk to you next time. Safe travels, everybody.